Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing okay. I thought I would just film a video today. I haven't filmed in ages. I think it's just because really I haven't had that much going on to kind of document. I'm in those final stages now, kind of in the last stretch. I'm 31 weeks plus 2 days, so I'm getting towards the end now. But I thought I would just do kind of a little chatty video whilst I'm getting ready, just to kind of update where I am, how I'm feeling, what's going on and all that sort of stuff. So the video might be a little bit all over the place. I haven't planned it, so we'll just see where it goes. And I thought I could just talk through where we're up to with like the nursery and the office and things like that, and how I've been feeling, any updates in that sense as well. So I'm going to just be doing my makeup whilst I'm chatting to you. It is so hot and muggy today. Normally I would have the fan on me, but obviously filming I don't really want to have the fan blowing because you won't be able to hear what I'm saying. So excuse like how hot I am, and with I've got the windows shut as well so people don't hear me outside talking and I don't get any noise coming through there as well. So it's particularly warm. It's not overly sunny today, it's quite overcast, but it's still really muggy, and being pregnant in this heat is definitely a challenge. I normally love the heat and love the warm weather. I just soak up the sun normally, which I still am doing, but I can definitely feel like my body temperature being pregnant is just completely risen, so I am hot a lot of the time. But that's just something that I've got to get used to. People said it to me a lot, sort of when I talked about being pregnant, and when I was due, everyone was like, oh well, you'll be really big and struggling in the warmer weather, which it hasn't been too bad. But I have definitely noticed a difference. What I'll do is I'll update you on kind of a few feelings and sort of symptoms that I've been having initially, and then we can go from there to talk about where we're up to in regards to the house. So like I said, the heat is definitely something that has impacted me these past few weeks, but I'm not struggling too much, but it has definitely impacted me. I've found sleeping to be really difficult. That's one of the biggest things that is affecting me at the moment. Our upstairs of our house is so warm, and that's probably a lot of why I can't sleep, is because of the heat. But also just getting comfortable is really hard now. I've been having a lot of kind of hip and back pain, so getting comfortable like that is proving a little bit difficult. And just waking up for wheeze in the night so often, probably like I wake up at least 3 or 4 times in the night to go for a wee, which is just crazy. Then getting back to sleep from there is sometimes hard. That's when kind of everything whirls around in my head. I have stuff going on, thinking, oh, I need to do this, I need to do that. Being really hot as well is just hard to sleep. But I'm really lucky because I then kind of catch up later the next day. I can, if I'm not working, I can catch up, like when Tom gets up and go to work, I can then catch up on some sleep then, or sometimes in the afternoons I might have a nap. I've noticed that I have been getting a lot more tired. Kind of the tiredness in the second trimester eased off and I had a lot more energy, but now in this sort of well into this third trimester, I have definitely been a lot more tired. But again, that's to be expected. I was kind of waiting for that to happen. It's kind of back to how I felt during the first trimester with kind of exhaustion and things like that. I just sometimes get to the point where I just really have no energy to do anything, no motivation, no energy. I just want to sleep and rest. So I'm trying to listen to my body that way as well. If I do need to rest, then if I can, I do. It's not always possible, but for the most part, I'm really lucky that I can rest. I've been having a lot of help from my mum and Tom's mum, who've been coming around to help with housework, because again, that's a massive chore in this heat, and being like 31 weeks pregnant, bending over and things like that is not the easiest. So that's really helpful, having them help me out. I really appreciate it. I feel really bad, them coming to do it, and I'm just kind of like, don't get me wrong, I've still been doing bits of the housework, and they've just been doing the harder bits, like cleaning the bath, like the bathroom where you have to bend over a lot, and hoovering and things like that. So I've been doing the other bits that I feel like I can do, but I have been getting a lot of lower back pain. I suffer with back pain generally anyway, so it's bound to be something that affected me in pregnancy, and it has kind of, I've mentioned it in pretty much all of my previous videos, that is just something that has affected me my whole pregnancy. But now I'm bigger and heavier, it's definitely playing up a lot more. I've got one of those back supports I got off Amazon, so I do use that when I'm like walking or if I am cleaning and things like that. The only thing with it is it obviously goes around your belly, so if I'm like bending over to do housework, it can kind of be a little bit uncomfortable because it's kind of putting pressure on your stomach. But I find it really helpful with walking. Walking's pretty much been the only exercise I've been doing these past, well, definitely in this trimester, just because I can't be bothered, to be honest, with anything else. I find it really hard. Sometimes I'll do some kind of like stretches, like yoga type things if I can, but for the most part I just make sure I go on a walk every day and try and keep active in that way, and I use my band for support. I've also had really bad pelvic pain. It's not affecting me constantly all the time, but I had a couple of days last week where I was in absolute agony with it. I think I had basically just overdone it, pushed myself. I'd been on my feet for way too long, and I could really tell that my body was telling me to rest and to stop. It was just horrendous. It was kind of like a big pressure down that area, but it was also kind of like, it's so hard to describe it. I felt like I had to like buckle over. I couldn't stand up straight. It was just really horrible. Walking was really hard. The only way I was comfortable was sitting down and resting with my legs together. Kind of getting in and out of the car was really painful. But it has seemed to ease a little bit over the past few days, but that is purely because I've made a real conscious effort to rest. And sort of getting in and out of the car, I've made sure like I've kind of kept my legs together and just being conscious of my movements. And obviously I've had some help with housework and things like that, so it's not made worse by kind of hoovering or bending over to clean the bath and things like that. So yeah, I know like a lot of women, I can't remember what it's called, but a lot of women can suffer with it really badly all the time, and I really, really feel for those people, because I was in tears, and I was thinking, I don't know how I'm going to cope with this for the next kind of anything from kind of like 7 to 10 weeks. I don't know how people cope with that constantly. It was horrendous, but touch wood, so far it hasn't been affecting me that severely every day. I definitely do get the aches and pains, but not like it was for those few days. That was just awful. Another symptom that I've been getting, which I have mentioned again in previous videos, it kind of eased off for a bit, it is now come back with a vengeance, is leg cramps, like in my calf. I don't know if it's to do with the fact that it's like warmer, so I kind of get dehydrated quicker, because one of the like things to help with the cramp is to make sure you're drinking enough fluid. So maybe that's why it's been affecting me, I don't know, but every time it happens for me at the minute is at night time, and I wake up and it's just like an excruciating pain in your calf. I hate cramp. It's horrible, and I had it twice last night in both legs, and then it makes my legs ache for the next like day or so. Like my calves are really like sore now, and I'm really conscious of like trying not to move to get it to twinge, because I don't want to have it again, because it is really not very nice. Yeah, I've been speaking to somebody else on Instagram who's at a similar stage in her pregnancy to me, and she was saying that she's been getting really awful leg cramps as well. So Just another thing that comes with pregnancy, trying to make sure I'm drinking a lot of fluid today to keep kind of my fluids up, so hopefully it will keep the leg cramp at bay, because that's another thing that obviously then impacts your sleep, because you're waking up because you have cramp, as well as needing to wee, as well as being too hot, as well as having hip and back pain and all that sort of stuff. So not a fun symptom. Heartburn has also been something that is becoming more frequent in this trimester. I can definitely feel like obviously everything's being pushed up, and I can feel that, and I can feel like when I eat, I can't eat anywhere near as much as what I was before. I get hungry really frequently, but I can't eat as much. I think my stomach has definitely shrunk, so that's then causes a bit more heartburn, normally in an evening. My emotions have been absolutely all over the place. Hormones and emotions have been mad. I've just found myself crying a lot, feeling quite anxious. I think now we're getting towards the end. Obviously labour and birth is something that's in the forefront of my mind now. I'm not feeling particularly scared about it, to be honest. I'm still feeling quite positive, and I'm looking forward to it in the sense that I'll get to meet my baby girl, and I know it's something I've got to do, but it's definitely something that's playing on my mind more. We're starting to think a bit more about the birth plan and things like that, and the options in that sense, and just general anxiety regarding becoming a new parent. Like, our life is going to change so much, and I'm completely grateful for it, and it's exactly what we wanted, but it's just the complete unknown, and we know that our life is going to be different, and we're going to have to adapt and change and learn, but it's still just like, wow, okay, it's actually really, really close now, and it really is happening, and is something that we've got to kind of get used to, and we're just trying to make the most of the time that we've got, just us two together, just for this little bit longer, until she's here. But at the same time, we can't wait for her to be here, and we just want her here now. So it's really mixed emotions, trying to kind of make the most of the time we've got without kind of wishing it away, but also really excited and can't wait to meet her, and I'm so ready for the next chapter. But you don't know how you're going to cope. As an individual, as a team, like in your relationship, how things are going to change. So it is really scary and really daunting, and I think for your first baby it's complete unknown, but even for like your second or third, you don't know how the dynamic in your family is going to change. So no matter what number baby you're on, I wouldn't be surprised if you had similar emotions going on as well, and obviously hormones play a massive part. Of just kind of feeling overwhelmed and stressed and everything like that. That's something that I've noticed, and poor Thomas had to put up with my crazy hormone mood swings and emotions and stuff, but I think he understands. We've been still continuing with hypnobirthing. We've still got quite a lot to do with it, do on the course as well, which I think is kind of causing me a little bit of a, not anxiety, but a little bit, okay, right, we need to get this done. I want to finish the course and make sure I've got all of the information, everything that I need and what I want to get from it with enough time, and to kind of make myself familiar with it all and practice some of the techniques and what's going on and things like that. So that's something that we're trying to think about. I've started today washing all the baby clothes. She has so many clothes, I can't believe how many clothes she has. And there's so many wash loads, and I know it's going to take ages, and I thought I would just take the opportunity with the nice weather to dry them outside, but I've got both areas full. I have got the washing line outside as well, but it looks overcast, so I'm scared it's going to rain, so at least if they're on the air I can just lift that inside if it rains. But started doing that, so that feels really good. I've started to kind of put things together for my hospital bag. It's nowhere near finished. I've made a list of things that I still need to get. I've been kind of adding things to it as and when I can, when I find things, but it's not complete yet at all. It's still got quite a few things that I need to do. Her hospital bag is nowhere near complete because, again, like I said, I'm now washing the clothes, so once I've washed everything I can then make sure like all of her stuff is together in the hospital bag, but I won't be doing that until they're all washed. I still have got a lot of time, but in my head, I don't know why, I just have it in my head that she's going to be early, or I have a feeling that maybe I need to just make sure, I want to be prepared in case she is early. Oh, she's really kicking me. Me and my sister were early, my mum had us early. She was like 27 weeks when she had us, which to me now is only like 5 weeks away. So I want to make sure that I'm completely prepared and I've got everything sorted. I've been having, I've had a face-to-face midwife appointment and I've got my 32-week one next week. So that will be really good as well. It's so nice to be able to meet the midwife and actually talk in person. I've been writing notes on my phone of different questions and things that I want to ask her, and we have briefly touched on options of birth plan and just put the ideas out there to think about it. I was open to hearing about home birth options and things like that. I don't think we're going to go for a home birth just because for our first baby, I feel like I might be more comfortable going into the midwife-led birthing unit. We're really lucky to have one of those as an option, which would definitely be my preference if I can choose it. I know that will probably not go to plan and I've just got to go with the flow, but if I could choose, then that's probably where I would choose to birth her. So it's kind of more birth preferences than a birth plan as such, because I'm trying to stay really open-minded and go with the flow, and if things have to change then they change. The only thing that we talked about with a home birth would be if you plan for one and you decide you want one, you can, whereas if you don't plan for it and you think, oh, I wish I could just stay at home, you haven't got everything put in place to be able to do that. So that's the only sort of thing that I was thinking about, like at least if I plan for one, but have it in my head that I can still go into the midwife-led birthing unit or hospital at any time. But practicality wise as well, I just don't think it's going to work, because again, just if possible, I would like to try out a birthing pool. I don't know if I'm going to like it or if it will be an option, but again, if I could choose, I would like to have the option to try it. And the practicality of having a birthing pool at home, setting it up, you have to pay for them, and how we would fill it and keep it at the right temperature is also something that we're having to think about practicality wise. So I think, like I said, it will be not a home birth. That it won't be a home birth, but that was definitely something I was open to hearing about and finding more information about. Maybe that'll be something we do for and look more into for baby number 2, if we're lucky enough and if we want to have another baby. That might be something sort of more appropriate and would suit us better then. I don't know, but so yeah, like I said, we've had I've had appointments in person with the midwife. Tom isn't able to come to those, which is a little bit sad, because when you are talking about birth preferences and things like that, and I got to hear her heartbeat, you do think that would have been nice to have your partner there, but I know it's just not possible with COVID and everything that's still going on. I have started planning my baby shower. That should be happening in a couple of weeks. I haven't had too much input in the baby shower. It's actually my mum, Tom's mum, and Tom's sister and my cousin are kind of taking the role of planning it for me. We had kind of a little get together where I kind of ran through ideas and things that I would kind of like, and I've kind of left it to them. I think they know that I have enough going on, like organising and getting ready for baby's arrival, without having to stress about a baby shower and planning it. So they're doing that, which is amazing. I haven't got to worry, so that's really exciting, something to look forward to. Fingers crossed by then restrictions will have been lifted for the amount of people. If not, I will have to rethink numbers. I think Because obviously you can have up to 30 outside anyway, so the baby shower will be in the garden and hopefully the weather will be nice. But that's something that's really exciting and I'm really looking forward to. I also had a maternity shoot that I was modelling for earlier this week. So I've had some maternity photos taken. I've seen a couple of them that the photographer had posted on social media, but I haven't seen all of them. So that was so much fun. Like I said, I modelled for that, so it was a kind of a free session that I had in return for her being able to kind of practice shoots and lighting and poses and things like that, and she can use them on her social media. It was such a great experience. I felt really awkward and it was kind of like a bit of a weird experience at the same time, but I'm really glad I did it, so I'm excited to see the rest of those photos to come through at some point. One of the last things I'm probably going to mention about kind of what's been happening in regards to me is movement. I feel like maybe her head has moved down and her legs are up. I'm not 100% sure, but I've been getting loads more movement at the top of my stomach, like right under my ribs, and these are kind of quite big, powerful ones. I got some videos of her the other day moving. She's moving so much now. It's all I can feel. And it's honestly the best feeling ever. And then I get kind of more sort of smaller movements down the bottom. So normally the bigger movements at the top of my right stomach, the right hand side of my stomach, tummy, and the little movements at the bottom left. So I don't know whether she's kind of diagonally kind of down, and that's why I was also getting a lot of pelvic pain. I'm not really sure, but I will speak to the midwife at my appointment and I'm sure she'll be able to kind of determine where she is. I don't think she has to be head down yet. I think it's by 36 weeks that they have to have their head down, and then if they haven't, you then have to look at possibly having them turned, because that would be breech, or having a cesarean. But I am not entirely sure with the dates of that. I might have got that wrong, but I know at my last appointment she wasn't head down, but the midwife said it's not to worry, that's nothing to worry about at the moment, we've got time. So I think even at this appointment I would still have a little bit of time for her to move in the right position, but if I'm right in what I'm feeling, then I think she's kind of heading that way, but I could be completely wrong. It's really hard to tell, and I've been feeling like different body parts of her, but I don't know I can't identify what they are. But the movement and everything is just absolutely amazing. It's the most favourite thing that I've had about pregnancy, completely, is just feeling her move and having that connection, especially if like I'm talking or singing or things like that, and if I'm sitting in the sun, that is when she's the most active, and normally if I've just eaten as well she's obviously the most happy then. In regards to getting the house ready and being organised and things like that, I know I've mentioned on my channel before and I still am going to do a nursery reveal. We're just still not quite there yet with the nursery. It's probably like 90% finished. So there's a few more things that I want to get done and sorted before I do the nursery kind of reveal and tour. And I don't want to show you in there beforehand because it's not completed, but it would still be enough to kind of spoil it. We're probably not going to have it 100% finished before she gets here, so when you see it, it won't be 100% done, but it will be nearly there. Obviously practicality wise, we don't know how we're going to want it and how we're going to use it anyway, so that's something that will probably change once she's here. And we're also going to want to get like her name on the wall, but we haven't actually decided, well, we haven't 100% decided on her name yet. We think we have a name, a full first, middle and obviously last name, but we're not going to commit to it until she's here and we know that's definitely what her name's going to be. So we won't be getting anything like that for the nursery beforehand, so obviously stuff like that will come after. There's just a few more bits to do before I show you, so it's a mess in there at the minute because I've been sorting wash loads of clothes out, so there's piles of washing on the floor, but we've got a few kind of shelves to put up. and kind of books to sort and things like that. But once that is done, I've got to iron the curtains still and a few things like that. But once that's all done, there will be a nursery tour coming, and it will be in the next few weeks. I'm hoping for it to be done sooner rather than later. And in that video, I'll probably just include where we're up to with the office. But the office is now complete interior wise. There's just the back side of the cupboard that we haven't finished yet, but it is definitely functional. We're using it. So Tom now has his office out there, so that's why I am now in this room. This is the room where I get ready and film, and we've got like our spare drawers and things in here, so that's amazing. So the nursery is just purely the nursery now, so that's great. And like I said, it is nearly done. The office needs to still have the outside done, so it still needs to have the cladding done, and the indoor cupboard needs to be built, or where the garden stuff is going to go, because at the moment it's just all put at the back of the office as a whole room. But like I said, I will show you that when I show the nursery, so you guys can see that then, and it all together and things like that. I think I'm going to leave the video here. I'll quickly show you my bump, do a little bump update. And like I said, I am now 31 weeks plus 2 days, so definitely feeling quite big. I feel like my bump is I carry quite low as well, maybe. I don't know whether it's got lower or it's just generally been always like this, but now it's getting bigger, I kind of notice it a bit more. But yeah, I think I carry quite low maybe. This jumpsuit is from Boohoo, it's a maternity one. I've been searching for a maternity jumpsuit, something that's really comfortable to have for my going home outfit from hospital, because I wanted something that isn't actually touching or tight, has a tight band around my tummy. I know I'll still have a bump when I've had her, and whether I end up having a cesarean or a natural, like vaginal birth, I don't know. So I wanted something that wouldn't rest on a cesarean scar if that is what ends up happening. So yeah, this is probably going to be the outfit that I'm going to pack in my hospital bag. This is another thing with my hospital bag, that some of the stuff I use very regularly at the minute, so I don't want to pack it in my hospital bag because I'm using it, but I don't want to leave it too late and then have none of it ready or none of it's washed, such as like this, or the dressing gown that I'm going to take, or the shoes, or the handheld fan and things like that. So that's something that I need to kind of finish. When I finish my hospital bag, it will be definitely nearer the kind of 36, 37 week mark, but I could still have another few weeks from there. So it's so hard, you're kind of like on a countdown, but it could be earlier, it could be later. So I'm preparing for it to be earlier, so I know that I'm 100% ready, and I know I'll be able to enjoy the rest of my time being pregnant and relax more once I know that everything's sorted. I use a lot of lists, so I've got lists for everything, and I think I'm going to pop a list on top of my hospital bag of stuff that I need to grab if I unexpectedly go into labour and I haven't put everything in there that I'm still using, such as like this outfit or the fan or my portable phone charger, things like that, so Tom can just grab them if he knows what it is that he's looking for. But I think that's kind of everything. I've ordered a couple more play suits actually from Boohoo as well, because especially with this heat I've been wearing like a lot of dresses because I don't like to have anything pressing too much on my stomach. But the thing with dresses is that I then get really bad chafing. I've obviously put on weight all over, and pregnancy chafing is definitely something that is affecting me. So dresses, even though are comfortable in the fact that they're flowy and I haven't got something pressed on my stomach, they're not comfortable in the chafing sense. So I've got like a couple of cycling shorts that I tend to wear underneath, but that kind of then defeats the point of having the like nothing pressing on my stomach. So I thought maybe some shorts or some play suits and things would be handy to have as well, kind of floaty ones and really like elasticated shorts. So I've ordered a couple of things from Boohoo there, because I don't know whether it's just pregnancy related, but with kind of like IBS and like horrendous constipation, because everything has just moved up completely, you know, organs and everything are completely pushed up to make room for the baby. I do get quite a lot of stomach pains and discomfort, so that's why I like to have loose fitting stuff. So yeah, I will do also a video on what's in my hospital bag and what's in baby's hospital bag, but that won't be until near the time. So yes, thank you so much for watching. Here's just an update of what's going on and where we're up to. I've probably rambled for absolutely ages, so I do apologise. But hopefully I'll see you in my next video, and it might be a nursery tour, fingers crossed. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.